So you've probably clicked on this video because you are looking for a new job. Maybe you are really keen to land a job after not working for a while, or perhaps you're in a job that you currently hate and you really want to get something different. Either way, you might have realized that looking for a job is a job in itself. Except this is a job that no one's told you how to do, and you don't really know what you're doing, and actually it's not as simple as it seems. Looking for a job seems like it should be something fairly self-evident that we can all do, and yet I know from speaking to lots of job seekers that it can be really frustrating, and often people aren't getting the results they want and they don't know why. So in this video today, I'm going to cover my 3 essential steps for being successful in your job search. And these are the 3 steps that I most often see people miss. And I think these are often the reasons why people don't get the results that they're looking for. I'd love to know in the comments below what you find frustrating about your job search, any particular problems that you're having, and I'll be sure to be checking those after the video goes live and replying to any questions that you have. We've also linked lots of resources below, including a downloadable guide I've written to accompany this video. So do check out all those resources. They're all things designed to help you in your job search. So let's get started. What is my first essential step for a successful job search? It's not updating your CV or resume, as you might think, but it's getting clear on what job you want. A lot of people go into a job search without a real clear direction of what it is they're looking for. They might think, I'm just going to apply for any job I see that looks interesting. I don't want to limit my choices too much. I'm going to keep an open mind. But actually, that approach is really counterproductive. Imagine that you went into a restaurant and the waiter asked you what you wanted. And you said to him, oh, I'm really open-minded. Just give me anything. He's probably going to look a bit confused and baffled and say, no, I really have to take an order. I really need to let the chef know what it is you want. By not defining what you want, you risk confusing your audience, and you also risk getting something that isn't what you actually want. So you really need to get that clarity. And there's some really important questions that you need to ask yourself. The first is, what role is it that you're looking for? What's the job title? What is it that you want to be doing in this job? Second, what type of company are you looking for? Or what type of company do you really not want to work for? Sometimes that's an easier question to answer, right? Don't waste your time applying to companies that you just really don't want to work at. What locations are you open to? This is one that people often overlook, and they'll often apply for jobs all over the place when really they wouldn't be willing to move to those places. I remember when I had a really helpful meeting with a recruiter. I just landed in Dubai and I sat down with this recruiter and she asked me what job I was looking for. And I thought I would make her life really easy. I really wanted to be a really placeable candidate. So I said, yeah, I'm kind of open for any type of job, and yeah, I'm interested in Dubai, Abu Dhabi, Sharjah, send me anywhere. And these are 3 separate cities that are relatively far apart. And she was very honest with me, and she said, do you actually want to work in Abu Dhabi or Sharjah, or do you really want to work in Dubai? Because we're meeting right here in Dubai, and you're telling me that you've moved to Dubai, so what is it that you really want? And I said to her, well, actually, my number 1 choice is Dubai. I haven't even visited the other places. And she said, well, don't waste your time. Don't waste my time entertaining these other opportunities if they're not really what you're interested in, if you're not really going to be willing to travel to those places. And that was such helpful advice. So get clear on your location. Get clear on your salary parameters that you would consider. narrowing all those things down and getting that clarity is really going to help you be focused. Once you know what your goal is, and that is to land a specific job and not any job, you're more likely to land that specific job. Now, you might be thinking, well, that's all well and good, Hannah, but I have no idea what type of job I want to do. And actually, that's really normal. I conducted a poll on LinkedIn this week and I've had over 1,000 responses so far. And most people say they found their career path by just trying different things. They didn't really know what they wanted. They didn't really have a clear plan, but they just tried different things and figured out from there what they like doing and eventually specialized in their career. So if you're just starting out and you don't know what to do, that's okay. You can try things, but you still need to set a direction and decide what type of job you're going to try. You need to figure out what those jobs are that you're going to apply for, that you're going to try out. And it's okay if you try them and you don't like them and you decide to then try something else, but you still need to have that clear goal in mind. And the questions you might ask yourself may be different. It might be more around, well, what types of jobs could I get? Which companies are hiring right now? Where is the best chance of me actually landing a role and getting some experience? And those might be the types of questions you ask in order to narrow those parameters and define your job search. If you're really struggling to know which career path is right for you, then there is a book which I recommend, which is called Designing Your Life. It's not just about job searching, but it's a really useful tool about how to try different things and figure out what it is that you like to do. So we'll link that in the comments below, and that's a really useful resource that I recommend you check out. So once you've done that, you then need to move on to step 2. And again, don't be too eager. The next step is not getting out there and applying. There's something else which comes first. And that is, you need to really know what it is you are bringing to the role. See, a lot of us go about our job search knowing what we want, knowing that we need a job for sure, and we go out into the world, and it's almost like we expect the world to do us a favor and give us the job we want. Well, companies don't really operate that way. When they're hiring someone, they're hiring because they have a need. They need to hire you. You're solving a problem that they have. You're meeting a need that they have. And they want to hire the person that best meets their needs. And the reality is you do have a lot to offer them. You do have skills that you bring to the table. And so if you can position yourself in your job search as someone who doesn't need a job, but who is someone that companies need, that's going to be a much more attractive proposition. So questions that you might like to ask yourself are, what problems is it that I will solve for this company? What unique skills and experience do I have? What makes me a better candidate than other people? What is it about my approach to work, about my personality that makes me a really great candidate? What are the relevant skills and experience that I have that's really relevant to what this company's doing or what this role is requiring? That's a really important one. You might have fantastic skills in one thing, but if it's not relevant for what the company is looking for you to do, they're going to be less interested. And as you're doing this exercise, one of two things might happen. One, you may realize you don't actually have the skills required for the roles that you've said that you're interested in. You might be looking through the job descriptions and looking at the requirements and realize, I've got lots of great skills, but they're not really matching these roles, in which case you may need to go back to step 1 and find those roles where you're really going to add value. Or the second thing that might happen, and I hope will happen for you, is that you'll realize that you are an asset to those companies, that you have so much to offer, so much value to bring, and you are then going to go about your job search knowing that you are someone worth employing. And as you write your resume, as you write your CV, as you write your LinkedIn profile, as you start sending emails and messages to people, you can be confident in the value you can bring, and you can lead with that as your main proposition. You're not going out there asking people for help, asking for favors, and hoping that someone will take pity on you. You're going out there with a proposition of, hey, I can really help you. This is how I can do it. This is the job I want, and this is why I could really benefit your company. And that's just going to transform your approach to your job search. So what's my essential step number 3? Well, my third essential step is that you need to use all of the tools in your job search toolkit. One of the main points of frustration for job seekers is they're trying an approach and it's just not working for them. But they keep trying it and they keep trying it, even though it's not working. And that is really, really frustrating, right? Perhaps you're saying, I've applied for 1,000 jobs online and I'm not getting anywhere. Or maybe you're saying, I'm sending emails to hiring managers and I'm sending out these cold approaches and I'm sending 10 a day and nobody's replying. Every job search is different. Every individual is different. And so you really need to pick the approach that works for you and not limit yourself to one way of doing things. If you're looking for a job, you've probably been on LinkedIn, and if you scroll through LinkedIn for more than 5 minutes, you'll see lots of ideas about how to get a job. Or if you have a look at career articles, you'll see lots of examples of how people landed their job. And here are the steps that I took. Here's how I landed my role. And those are all really great sources of inspiration. And there can be lots of great ideas in there. But there just isn't a one-size-fits-all approach. There isn't a magic formula. I'm sorry, if you came here for a magic formula, there isn't a magic formula for landing that job. Some people land jobs by applying online. That's why companies spend lots of money advertising jobs online. Some people land jobs through relationships with agency recruiters. That's what I used to do. I used to work as an agency recruiter, and we placed lots of people, some who'd applied online, but lots through those existing relationships we had with candidates. Some people land jobs through their network. Companies will often pay employees a referral bonus if they refer somebody who gets hired by the company, because it's seen as a less risky approach on behalf of the employer. And so definitely networking is a really good activity. There's lots of different ways to land a job. Don't limit yourself to one method. And if your method isn't working, then don't be afraid to try different things or to use a combination of different approaches. You really need to take a step back and conduct an honest appraisal of your job search. It's easy to feel like you're being very productive, thinking, okay, I've applied for 20 jobs today, I'm being productive, I've done my job search activity for the day. But if that's not working, you need to be honest with yourself, assess what it is, and keep tweaking and changing your approach until you find that thing which is really giving you the higher return on your time and on your investment, so that you land more interviews, hopefully by spending less time doing the wrong things that just aren't working for you. So I hope that you've perhaps got a little bit more clarity now on maybe why your job search isn't working, or if you're about to do a job search, what it is that you need to do to really be effective. I would love to know, as I said, in the comments below, any particular queries that you have. But I hope that you found that helpful. And if you did, do subscribe and catch me on the next video.